Father, thank you for making everybody being able to witness this memorable event of IMEC. We thank you for giving us 10 long years united, competitive, and fast-growing. We thank you for your guidance in times we needed you most, and we thank you for the privilege of making us all part of this momentous day. As we move forward, bless us, Lord, with willpower and determination, so that we'll continue to do business with passion and confidence. Help us to become strong in times of difficulties, wise in times of trials, and just in the face of unfair circumstances. That we should accept individual differences, that we should believe in each other's ability to do one's task, that we should trust the company's plan for us. Lord, make us dream not only for our personal career gains, but also for the strongest, and above all for those people who are all seeking our help and guidance. We ask all this through Christ our Lord. Amen. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit.
May I just say, Dan, that IMEC has been so generous over the years to provide the opportunity for our young cadets, we call them that, young cadets, the opportunity to become better and to become successful eventually. I've been watching the videos that you prepared here earlier, and it was some pretty rigorous training, you know, them trying to jump off the ship, and you know, it was a pretty fun experience, I guess, for them, and a learning experience for them, and it wouldn't be possible if it weren't for these people. So thank you so much to IMEC. Let's give IMEC a round of applause, everyone. So it's been 10 years, do you believe that?
Well, we should not, IMEC should not take credit for everything, because without partners, our sponsors, now our colleagues in the industry, this will never happen, this will never materialize. In fact, we do have some alumni here. May I have a hand of some alumni, IMEC alumni?
There they are.
Our officers. Thank you for coming. I know that this is the time for your vacation, and thank you for coming.
So how does it usually work, Dan, the whole screening process?
Well, the screening process is very tedious. Out of 10,000 cadets or 10,000 applicants, we will screen them down. We will do examination, interviews, and series of medical examinations until we select the best of the best, until we screen them down to 225.
Wow, that's a lot. So from thousands to 225. And so far, how many batches do we have?
Around about
More than 100. Not really. More than 50.
50.
Oh, that's still a lot. So that's 225 per batch. Wow. See what's IMEC doing for these Filipinos.
10 to 12 batches already, I think.
10 to 12 batches. Good job, IMEC. So once again, thank you so much everyone for making it here. I can see that most of you come from different parts of the world, and we're just really grateful that you're here tonight celebrating this momentous occasion for IMEC Philippines. So are we ready for the next presentation?
I think so. May we call on our first performer. He is a first-class cadet. He just came from the sea, and he is now in Maab, finishing his last year. And without further ado, may I call on first-class Refi Alaw.
All right, let's give him a round of applause.
She's always on my mind, from the time I wake up till I close my eyes. She's everywhere I go. She's all I know. Though she's so far away, this feeling keeps getting stronger every day. And even now she's gone, I'm still holding on. So tell me, where do I start? 'Cause it's breaking my heart. Don't wanna let her go. And baby, my love will come back someday. Only you know. Just heaven knows. My friends keep telling me that if I really love her, you gotta set her free. And even now she's gone, I'm still holding on. So tell me, where do I start? 'Cause it's breaking my heart. I don't wanna let her go. And maybe my love will come back someday. Only heaven knows. Maybe our hearts will find their way. Only heaven knows. And all I can do is hope and pray. 'Cause heaven knows why you leave in despair. Seated wide awake or dreaming, I know she's never there. And all the times I act so brave, I'm shaking inside. Why does it hurt me so? And maybe our love will come back someday. Only heaven knows. And maybe our hearts will find their way. Only heaven knows. And all I can do is hope and pray. Just heaven knows. Heaven knows. Just heaven knows.
My name is Michael Sena, and we are IMEC students from the Bosco Debate Center, Bundok. Pasok mga kasuki, fresh yung TV soya. 10-10, 20-20 at iba pa. Pasok mga kasuki, fresh yung TV soya. 10-10, 20-20 at iba pa. Tete, tagasan ka. Ladies and gentlemen. And now, you are listening to the number one, BBB Baba Boxer, sir. Apple, ben. I five different sounds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1. Last one. 40 people, yeah. That's it, guys. And the one beat like this. And one beat like this. Thank you very much.
3, 2, 1.
Báilame como si fuera la última vez y enséñame ese pasito que no sé, un besito bien suavecito, bebé. Taqui, 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 rumba. Báilame como si fuera la última vez y enséñame ese pasito que no sé, un besito bien suavecito, bebé. Taqui, 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 taqui. Paano masabi? Paano masabi? Paano masabi? Kasi nung ako sumakat.
I think the guests are wondering how come that they are so talented, where we are choosing them based on their talents.
Oh, that's why. So there's an audition.
There's really no examination interview, it's only dancing, singing,
And
then
beatboxing. There you go. So now you know how we screen our applicants.
it just shows that the guys who are very intelligent, the girls who are very skilled, are also very talented.
They're
And
very
this is
well
because of Don Bosco School and also MAP, who is completely enriching their talents and skills all out throughout their education.
That's true. And I'm pretty sure that these people are very grateful as well because they have this event to showcase what they can do outside of school, of course. So up next,
Okay, let's continue the dancing now. Now it's a different upbeat dance coming from MAP as well. MAP Contemporary Dancers.
Need to get inside, or I will start a war. Wanna look at the pieces that make you who you are. I wanna build you up and pick you apart. Let me see the dark sides as well as the bright. I'm gonna love you inside out. I'm gonna love you inside out. Let me see the dark sides as well as the bright. I'm gonna love you inside out. I'm gonna love you inside out. I'm gonna love you. Strip club music. Me make it bounce on the left, bounce on the right. Pour them together, man, I watch me all night. Don't on the run, me make it bounce, what a sight.
Bounce up, Nicky bounce up, Nicky bounce up, bounce up, Nicky bounce up, Nicky bounce up, bounce up, Nicky bounce up, Nicky bounce up. So she a one, my girl, make your bounce up, Nicky bounce up, Nicky bounce up, bounce up, make it bounce up, make it bounce up, bounce up, make it bounce up, make it bounce up. Slow wine, then she gone jump on the ground up. She pan the rhythm, she a wine and a tons up. Back it up, drop it on the ground and make it bounce up. Why? She told your man so she jump up. The man they can't make it bounce up, but she a run do. If I can't tell somebody, please come get your wife. They get a go and bad and mash it up or something like it. The woman them will make it jump up, and them in like it. Two of them in front of me and one they right beside me. Bounce up, 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 bounce, 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 yeah.
They are not looking at technical or academic knowledge. They look at all these capabilities and what have you. I was probably going to be ready to accept that till the time I saw this happen. I quickly, and God bless Google, I Googled, and what I found was when God made the globe, He made some special talents for a longitude of 121 east and 15 north. And everybody in this country is talented, as we all know, in every facet of life. Thank you, Philippines. Thank you for the work you've done for the shipping industry and everywhere else in the world. It's not just the shipping that Philippines is famous for. Their service-oriented delivery in every industry globally is acknowledged and accepted. So let's all put our hands together for the Philippines and the people of Philippines. God bless you all. Thank you very much. There's a change from the original plan, and I'll let Dan handle the next stage of this one. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Captain Tandon. We will now call on our partner, Captain Akamine-san, to present award to IMEC. And may we call on Captain Rajesh Tandon to receive the award, please.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Captain Koichi Akamine, Chairman of IMEC. IMEC has Japanese 94 members and supports about 46,000 of foreign non-Japanese seafarers on board, about 2,250 of Japanese merchant fleet. We have partnered IMEC at IBM negotiations since 2003, as already explained by Captain Tandon-san, as a representative of the employers in Japan, and we have made a great progress together. Our heartfelt congratulations to you tonight at this 10th anniversary of IMEC Manila office. So, on behalf of all IMEC members, we would like to present to you an opponent of Japanese traditional fan called ogi. Ogi is considered to bring blessing due to its shape when opened. In Japan, we have a term senpai. It's not kanpai, you know kanpai? It's senpai. Senpai means someone who is senior in age or in experience. For example, if you join a company before I do, you are my senpai. If you open a branch office before we do, as you did, you are our senpai. IMEC Manila office will be the same 10th anniversary next year. We pay respect to senpai in Japan, and tonight we'd like to pay our deep respect to our senpai, comrade, and friend IMEC for your unending support and cooperation. Once again, congratulations.
Conrad, are you listening? Thank you.
Usually called the voice of Maa. He has this angelic voice, very soft voice, very low tone. So probably you enjoy it. Something like a jazz song. Let's see what will happen. I hope you'll be shocked then.
Alright, so let's welcome our next performer. Let's give him a round of applause.
Mr. Sabinorio.
How we run into the midnight sun. We'll
Just go round and round, you're on my mind. Restless hearts pulled on tonight, standing on my love belong to I. Standing around and no place to start a family. Right down the line, it's been you and me. Love and a music man ain't always what's supposed to be. Oh, girl, will you stand by me? I'm forever yours, faithfully. Sick as life, onto the beat of the world. The only thing left to make us laugh. Through space and time, always another show. Watching where I am, lost me down with you. Being apart ain't easy, now is loving. Two strangers standing by again. I get the joy of rediscovering you. Oh, girl, you stand by me. I'm forever yours, faithfully. Thank you, Master. I hope you're enjoying your wedding tonight. Happy 10th anniversary to the program.
So the next or the last performance, I would like to remind everyone that we have the photo booth outside. So if you haven't taken your pictures there, please grab this chance to do that. And that's going to serve as your remembrance for this evening, together with those lovely paperweights in front of you at the middle of the table. So Dan, who is our last performer for the evening?
Okay. There's always a saying, you need to save the best for last. So maybe call on Mr. Recocolin and Mr. Ardelesa.
Someday, when I'm off below, when the world is cold, I will feel a glow just thinking of you and the way you look tonight. your nose. Such is my foolish heart. Oh, lovely, don't you ever change. Keep that breathless charm. Won't you be serene? 'Cause I love you, and the way you look tonight. Tenderness grows, tearing my fears apart, and that love that repels your nose, such is my foolish heart. Don't you ever change. Keep that breathless shore. Won't you please arrange it? 'Cause I love you, and the way you look tonight.
Thank you very much for that wonderful surprise. How it reaches my home is your problem, not mine. You know, when I just gone to the washroom, somebody asked, is this an annual party or is it a first of its kind? I said, I thought he said, this is the first of the celebrations, or is it 10 years, or what is it? So I told them, no, this IMEC program has been, IMAJ and IMEC have been partners for the IBF, but the MAP training has been going on for more than 20 years. He says, no, I'm not interested in that. He's asking for this party. So for the organizers, maybe we should have an annual party if the budgets can be afforded. Conrad, are you listening? Thank you. Guys, we are here today to celebrate the 10-year anniversary of IMEC Cadet Program. But the origin actually goes back many, many years before that. It would be wrong not to go into the history of the cadet program without recognizing the inspirational work of late Captain Gregory Oka. Captain Oka, for those who do not know, I don't think there'll be many like that here, was the founder of the Philippines Union AMOSUP, who built up and owns MAP. In the mid-90s, there was a growing need to develop a maritime school. They made their way up to the front entrance, opened the door, and suddenly they saw light. That light was the sun rays beaming through the collapsed roof. If there was anybody who could turn this into a leading maritime school, it had to be Captain Greg Oka. They just needed to convince him to make the 7-hour trip to visit. Can I have you put your hands together for late Captain Greg Oka? I had a few years of interaction with him, but I think it was a few years too little. But my memories are also very fond of the times I did interact with him. Shortly after that visit, Captain Oka called for a group meeting. They walked into the room where they met with, "You must be my enemy to lead me to this dilapidated structure in the middle of nowhere that will cost me an arm and a leg just to secure the property." The group gave a smile to each other. They knew if Captain Oka is convinced, he will do it, and that's what he did. This brings us to about 20 years ago to the year where the foundation stones of the IMEC cadet program can be traced. On the 14th of January 1998, MAP was officially founded, and 20 days later, the International Maritime Training Trust, or IMTT, as it was known then, was established in the Isle of Man. The trust would later fund the IMEC cadet program. A little over 5 years later, whilst MAP, in May 2003, whilst MAP first cadet intake were preparing to graduate, representatives from IMEC, along with its negotiating partners, IMEC, met in Japan with representatives from the ITF to officially establish the International Bargaining Forum, or IBF. It was there that these agreements, which would later form a substantiable tool for IMEC to maintain and finance such a large cadet program. I would be failing in my duty if I do not acknowledge the two members of the IMEC team at that time, Captain Bilal Ahmed and Mr. David Dearsley, who was the Secretary General at that time for this to happen. I'm told Imada-san was also part of the original meetings, 2003. By 2006, IMEC had started ramping up its activities to move from a purely industrial negotiation body to develop a training arm. Through IMEC's close partnership with AMOSUP, we were able to employ 25 MAP cadets through the IMEC members. At the start of 2007, the IMEC Recruitment and Training Committee was created. They had a very precise mandate to establish an initiative to address the shortage of quality seafarers from the Philippines. The committee came out with the following recommendation, and this is quote-unquote from the minutes. IMEC should therefore establish a means to ensure that training standards for cadets in the Philippines were enhanced to a consistently high standard in order to eliminate the need for companies to provide extensive and expensive bridging, ramping, upgrading courses for their cadets. We then move into 2008, the day we officially created the IMEC cadet program with MAP. In this year, we established a Philippines office, took on permanent staff members locally, took our first batch of cadets, and officially signed a memorandum of agreement with MAP and the University of Cebu. The cadet program quickly moved from success to success. By 2010, the cadet program had grown to some 400 cadets, creating a need to expand the team in Manila and to establish a new position within the IMEC London Secretariat to oversee the IMEC training initiatives. Those initial actions have developed into the strong IMEC cadet program we have today. To date, we have 1,337 graduates from the program, with an additional 650 cadets currently undergoing training. How about that, guys? Back in 2008, when the memorandum of agreement was signed, I suspect it was fully intended that we would all be here celebrating the 10-year anniversary in 2018. Through the IBF agreements, we've created a sustainable business model to allow us to operate such a program. Payments into the IMTT and more recently the International Maritime Training Fund are based directly on the number of Filipino seafarers that are employed under the agreement. So in essence, the more Filipino seafarers we employ, we have an opportunity to train that many more Filipino seafarers. So it's cascading upwards and the numbers just keep ramping up. And I hope some of the people who are here, the young cadets who will be standing here making this speech 20 years from today. There are many people we should acknowledge here today without whom the IMEC cadet program couldn't have gone ahead. The 25 experts from IMEC members who sat on our recruitment and training committee over the years, without whom the direction to this program would not have been possible. The 47 IMEC members who have sponsored cadets to date and have provided that all necessary training berth on board. Thank you guys, thank you IMEC members, and thank you IMEC Recruitment and Training Committee. There are a few bodies and individuals here who we would give a particular acknowledgement and with whom we have a small token of appreciation to present to. We've always viewed AMOSUB as a partner in this journey. The image often portrayed in the media is that unions and employers sit on opposite sides of the table, negotiating hard-to-come agreements. Whilst this is, of course, true in many aspects of our work, we've always viewed AMOSUB as a true partner. Behind the scenes, we spend significant time working with unions and AMOSUB to create a sustainable industry out of Philippines. Philippines is a very integral part of the global shipping scenario, and we cannot not just recognize that. So thank you, AMOSUB, for that. I talked about the inspirational work of Captain Greg Oka, and his passing in 2000 spread much sadness across the industry. I'm sure he's looking down at us from there now, pleased with that his vision has led to so many graduates and officers, but reminding us that the second decade starts tomorrow. So there's a lot of work to be done going forward. His legacy was passed on to his son, Dr. Conrad Oka, and over the past 8 years, we've enjoyed developing the cadet program with Conrad and his team at AMOSUB. Under Conrad's leadership, MAP continues to develop and expand. Thank you, Conrad, for AMOSUB's continued drive to improve the standards for Filipino seafarers. And we look forward to working with you and your team well into the future, next 1, 2, 3 decades. At this point, I'd like to invite our IMEC Deputy Chair, Captain Belal Ahmed, to please share a token of our appreciation with Captain Oka. Dr. Oka, sorry. Next year, Vice Admiral Eduardo Santos will celebrate his 20th anniversary as President of MAP. And of course, prior to that, he had an extremely distinguished and successful military career, which led him to become the flag officer in command of the Philippines Navy. Vice Admiral Santos has provided the leadership at MAP since its outset, having designed everything down to the initial syllabus and even the uniforms and everything that you see today. Change is always a hard factor to manage, and Admiral Santos has led the Academy through many changes over the last 19 years. The Academy was founded as the world of maritime education was gearing up to meet the demands of STCW 95. Since then, he has not only had to develop the Academy to meet the demands of another STCW revision, but also to meet the demands of many shipping companies, all with their own requirements. He has developed an academy which not only develops the educational abilities of cadets, but also develops high school leavers into fine men, women, and officers of the Merchant Navy. May I now request one of my vice chairs, Simon Spacey, to come here and present a token of our appreciation to Admiral Santos. As IMEC started ramping up our activities in the Philippines, there became a need to have some official representation in the country. On the 12th of June 2006, Mr. Mike Estaniel officially became our contact representative. When IMEC commenced its cadet operation in 2008, Mike was instrumental to finding the right offices and the staff. The role Mike has performed for IMEC over the years, on top of his everyday job, has been endless, from signing cadet MOAs to running local members meetings and everything else that you see about IMEC in Philippines. He has been directly or indirectly involved. Mike, you've been a great support. You don't like to come in the forefront, but today we would like to felicitate you. May I request Roy Mackart, a member of my IMEC board, to please come forward and present Mike with a token of our appreciation. The IMEC cadet program has always had a focus on quality over quantity. The two offices, therefore, must work closely together to ensure, at one hand, we are meeting the demands of the members and the Recruitment and Training Committee, and on the other hand, consistently developing our standards on the year-on-year. At this point in time, I would like to felicitate our Philippines office as well as our UK officers who have worked very hard to bring the program to what it is today. May I request Adam, Stephanie, Dan, Dana, please come on the stage, and to do the honors, may I request Argyris, another member of my board, to please come here. And come on guys, put your hands together. That when they do the selection, they are not looking at technical or academic knowledge. They look at all these capabilities and what have you. I was probably going to be ready to accept that till the time I saw this happen. I quickly, and God bless Google, I Googled, and what I found was, when God made the globe, He made some special talents for a longitude of 121 east and 15 north. And everybody in this country is talented, as we all know, in every facet of life. Thank you, Philippines. Thank you for the work you've done for the shipping industry and everywhere else in the world. It's not just the shipping that Philippines is famous for. There's service-oriented delivery in every industry globally is acknowledged and accepted. So let's all put our hands together for the Philippines and the people of Philippines. God bless you all. Thank you very much. There's a change from the original plan, and I'll let Dan handle the next stage of this one. Thank you, everybody.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Captain Koichi Akamine, Chairman of IMEC. IMEC has Japanese 94 members and supports about 46,000 foreign non-Japanese seafarers on board, about 2,250 of Japanese merchant fleet. We have partnered IMEC at IBM negotiations since 2003, as already explained by Captain Tando-san, as a representative of the employers in Japan, and we have made a great progress together. Our heartfelt congratulations to you tonight at this 10th anniversary of IMEC Manila office. So, on behalf of all IMEC members, we would like to present to to you an opponent of Japanese traditional fan called ogi. Ogi is considered to bring blessing due to its shape when opened. In Japan, we have a term senpai. It's not kanpai, you know kanpai? It's senpai. Senpai means someone who is senior in age or in experience. For example, if you join a company before I do, you are my senpai. If you open a branch office before we do, as you did, you are our senpai. Imagine Manila office will be the same 10th anniversary next year. We pay respect to senpai in Japan, and tonight we'd like to pay our deep respect to our senpai, comrade, and friend IMEC for your unending support and cooperation. Once again, congratulations.
He is one of the pillar, or probably now the pillar of AMUSOC. May I call on Dr. Conrado Oca, the president of AMUSOC.
It's very hard for me to make speeches. I'm very nervous because I feel like speeches are like babies. Easy to conceive but hard to deliver. I should know because I am an obstetrician. And I've delivered many babies. It's hard for the mother. So good evening everyone, and we're very honored to be here. I have a prepared speech, I have a script, but unfortunately the speechwriter wrote about the 10th anniversary also, but not the 10th anniversary of the cadet program. It's my wedding anniversary that I wrote. So it's a good thing my wife is not here, you know? Because it would be all tears for me if I said that speech. I'm just kidding. Please don't tell my wife, okay? Or else patay tayo. So of course I'd like to greet our host, IMEC, the great Captain Rajesh Sandon, who has been a very good friend to the Filipinos. So please give him a warm hand. And to his vice, do you call it vice chairs, deputy chairs? Deputy chairs.
He's the deputy, he's the vice.
Miami Vice. Okay. Captain Bilal and Simon, please give them a warm hand. And also to your board of directors. Does that include Michael?
Yes.
Michael's there? Michael Estella?
The only permanent feature on the board.
Okay, very good. Very good. Where's Michael? I think he went to the karaoke bar. Because he said, oh no, Conrad speaking, I'll go to the karaoke bar. Please wait for me later. Huh? Tell me which bar, okay? Okay. So, of course, I'd like to greet our counterparts from Japan, Kamini-san, Inoue-san, Imano-san, and the rest of his staff. Kumbawa. Kumbawa, thank you very much also for coming. And of course, my boss, Admiral Santos. Because in the reserve, in the Naval Reserve, I'm only a Chief Petty Officer. So I have to salute him every time. I have to salute him every time. And everybody, all the cadets, all the wonderful guests. Of course, Adam, I think we grew up together. He grew thinner, I grew wider. In this career. So, thank you very much to all the guests, to all the cadets and everybody. So I will not read my script. I hope you don't mind if I don't read the script. Because as I said, it's my 10th anniversary wedding, and I don't think you'll be laughing or you'll all be crying after I read the speech. So I'll just tell you some stories, okay? Is that okay? Once upon a time, I just tell you, my first encounter with IMEC was after my father died, or when he was sick. Captain Oka died. Just in case you don't know, he's my father. When he died, there was a meeting, IMTT meeting. And then I asked Admiral Santos, what are we going to do? Because it's my first time to meet the IMEC and IMTT. So Adrian said, just sit down and listen. So Giles was there. Giles was there. The first thing he said was, we're withdrawing from the IMEC cadet program. Oh my God. Oh my God, I said, baptism of fire. Withdrawing from the cadet program. So I said, what's the implication? Lo and behold, 1 or 2 years after, Giles came back and said, we're going back to the MAAP cadet program. He saw the light, right? He saw the light. Hallelujah! IMEC saw the light and went back to MAAP. Thank you very much. Domo arigatou gozaimasu. So another encounter was, we had a letter that, because the cadet program was being very semi-regimental or regimental, a lot of marching, a lot of, so they asked us to do something about it. So Admiral Santos and I talked about it. And we did something about it. So right now, instead of seeing, during graduation, seeing marching all over the field, you'll see hip-hop dancing, you'll hear singing, interpretative dance, and painting. I'm just kidding, don't worry. Some guys are so serious, they say, oh, really? So just don't worry, when you bring back your painting, when you bring it back, they say that it's very hard to bring the painting back. Don't worry, you can fold it. When you unfold it, back home, you'll see my picture. Okay? So again, thank you very much. Thank you very much, IMEC, and thank you also to Admiral Santos, has been there for 20 years, you know. I've only been alive for 19, so it's so thank you very much. So in closing, I do not have a gift, just like our Japanese friends. I only have the gift of love. I love that you're employing Filipino seafarers. I love that you're training Filipino cadets. And just like the Japanese, I love that you're giving wonderful wages. Thank you very much. And to end my speech, focus on the beautiful things in life. Life is too short to be wasted on worries. Look at the solutions and not the problems. And be good even if others are not. Thank you very much.
Moving forward, I think it would be nice to hear some of our alumni, very successful alumni, who really had experienced the tough semi-regimental training in MAAP, the tough times at sea, and emerged victorious in their career. May I first call on Second Engineer Mark Silerio. Can we give ahead?
So I don't want to waste the time of everybody, so I made the speech as short as possible, okay? So it is with a great honor and privilege to be here with you, colleagues from the different maritime sectors, families and friends, midshipmen and women together with us, and of course, the proud alumnus from the different classes of IMEC Cadet Program. Would you please stand up and give yourself a warm round of applause? Okay, stand up. Okay, so we gathered together to witness how IMEC has been victorious in producing world-class, highly qualified merchant marine officers for the maritime industry. Without any further talk, let me tell you a real-life story, just like Dr. Conrado Oga told earlier, of mine during my cadet years, a very long time ago. So it goes like this. Way back 2011, while attending documentation procedures prior to my embarkation, the supervisor then advised me to come back the following week, and therefore, I decided to travel back home in Bataan. While catching up for the next train at LRT Line 1 Quirino Station, waiting along with me is a gentleman wearing a maritime uniform and of course, a backpack. So you know that it's already a cadet. Okay? It was rush hour then, so it took us long before we boarded our train. Since I am wearing my uniform as well, he then approached me and the gentleman said, so I will deliver. How did he tell it to me, okay? So the gentleman said, no, Bay, i-apply ka din ba sa kumpanya? Okay, I believe some of our guests are from Visayas region. No? So kindly correct me if I'm wrong, okay? In English, he approached me, are you applying in a shipping company? I was not able to fully understand that statement, but for sure, he is pertaining if I was applying or looking for a shipping company. I answered back then. In Tagalog, yes sir, dyan po ako sa BSM. Yung dating Philharmonia Ship Management sa Kanto Tinyo. So I beg your pardon with how that word is pronounced, okay, for the Filipinos, no? Due to that profane language. But really, it's a place in there in Makati. So may I know who is from the Makati area here? Kindly raise your hand, no? Say, I experienced one time, no? So I'm going to General Tinyo Street. So, of course, I'm a Filipino. So, how do we say it when riding in a jeep? Manong, Manong! Diyan lang po ako, Kanto Tinyo po ako. Okay? So, it sounds profane, but I'm sorry for the word, but it's really true. So, in English, I replied to that gentleman, Sir, I was employed by BSM, formerly Philharmonia Ship Management at General Tinyo Street, Bangkal, Makati City. Okay? And our conversation started then and asked me if I have a backer in order to be employed. Okay? So, the gentleman said and asked, Bay, may backer ka nung i-apply ka? May cadetship sila, bay? Okay? So, in English, he asked, do you have a backer? Is there a cadetship program? Then I replied in Tagalog, wala po, sir. Scholar po kami ng BSM and IMEC. Nag-ayos lang din po ng papeles. In English, I replied, I didn't have a backer since I am a scholar of BSM and IMEC and currently arranging my documentation. As our conversation continues, I recognize that the gentleman is a fresh graduate looking for a shipping company in order to complete his bachelor's degree. He came from Visayas region and he shared with great tiredness that his resources or money are very limited in terms of monetary, strolling and looking for a shipping company while in a bustling area of Metro Manila. What really catches my attention is this statement, as he tries his best to speak in Tagalog in order for me to understand. Okay, to my co-alumnus from Visayas or Mindanao region, kindly correct me if I'm wrong, okay? One mistake, 100 squatras. Okay, I swear. So, it goes like this, no? He replied, buti ka pa ba kaswerte o imo ba? Gidugayon ka na ako maganap, dili kumpanya, wala may magtanggap. Isang bulan na ako gi-apply din sa Manila, pero wala man, gihanap sila ng backer ko. Okay? So, in English, okay, kindly correct me, ha? You were very lucky, he said. For a long time, I was looking for a shipping company, but there is no vacancy. I was here for a month. So take note, he was there for a month already, okay? Applying for a company, but they always asking me if I have a backer with me. Okay? So he continued in Bisaya or Tagalog mix already. Karon maghapon na ako gihanap dili sa Malate. Naglakad man ako, wala ko'y pamasahe, kailangan magtipid. Gitry ko nga mag-apply dyan sa Marlo Navigation, dili daw bakante ngayon. Okay? So in English, today, I look for a shipping company in Malate area and decided to walk all day and not by jeep or any other means of transportation because I need to limit my expenses for today. Okay? And he continued, uli muna ako, bukas na uli, itry ko dyan sa imong kumpanya. In English, I decided to go home and try to apply to your shipping company which is BSM and try my luck tomorrow. Okay? So as I listened to his sentiments of applying for a shipping company, I also observed that the gentleman is significantly exhausted. So it means pagod na po siya. The heels of his shoes are already worn, while trying to keep his uniform as neat as possible under the scorching heat of the sun. And with all his heartfelt exhaustion and great desperation at that point just to find a shipping company for him, I still admire this gentleman. Why? Because for me, He is the best portrait of a gentleman with a persevering attitude that how struggling or worse the situation is, he is willing to endure whatever it takes in pursuit of a dream to become a merchant marine officer someday, that for sure he will deserve. I was not able to conversate with the gentleman for long, since he boarded early as soon as the train arrives. But deeply, I was struck, okay, take note, I was struck, in the reality of life in applying for a shipping company. And in that very moment, I greatly realized that how blessed I am to be a part of this scholarship program. I hope that every alumnus should realize that too. So let's continue. So while sitting on the window side of the bus, so I was on my home going to Bataan, our conversation still runs in my mind, comparing and contrasting our each other's situation. Okay, so the following phrases are the phrases that runs in my mind during that time. Okay, so first, I don't need to worry for a shipping company since the program provided me, correct? It was provided. Next, I don't need to roam and walk around Manila or Calao to look for a company while tormented by the heat of the sun. I don't need to have a backer in order for a shipping company to hire me. That is the reality of applying nowadays. Okay? And moreover, I don't need to pay for my tuition fees in college for my maritime education. That is true. I don't need to look for board and lodging during my studies. Why? Since we have the finest accommodation during our studies. Okay? What can we wish for? At least we have a comfortable place to sleep and a bunch of sockets to charge our mobile devices at evening. And I hope the cadets are praying that tacos will not caught them during nighttime. Okay? Additionally, I don't need to bother my parents for my monthly fees and other expenses. And lastly, I don't need to pay for my everyday meals since we have the best viands, especially bangus. I hope every alumni realize that, okay? Especially bangus or milkfish every Friday. So that is the best delicacy that every alumnus will not forget. So if you want, you can come and visit us in Bataan. We have the best tasting ever bangus because fried bangus is life. So, if you will take notice of the phrases, it always starts with, I don't need. Okay, it starts with I don't need. So with those I don't need, when we became a part of the IMEC cadet program, there are other maritime students like the gentleman I met. Instead, they are saying, I need. Okay, I need. In order to fulfill their dreams, just imagine, okay? So let us rephrase the statement earlier, no? So instead of I'm saying I need, I don't need. So this gentleman is saying I need. So let us rephrase, no? First, I need to worry for a shipping company since I don't have a company before, or there's no scholarship program provided for me. Next, I need to roam and walk around Manila or Calao to look for a company while tormented by the heat of the sun. And probably if they are hard, probably you will see them in the Calao and probably you will hear them, medical, COP, and C1 and C2, okay? And I need to have a backer in order for a shipping company to hire me. And moreover, I need to pay for my tuition fees in college for my maritime education. So, as of this day, monthly semester is ranging for about 25 to 30,000 per semester, excluding uniforms and other expenses. So just imagine the great cost that IMEC provided to us. I need to look for a board and lodging during my studies. So if you will calculate that, that is 1,500 per month. So times 36 months, because studies is 3 years, okay? I need to pay for my everyday meals. That is 100 pesos per day or per meal, or sometimes per meal, okay? And yet, you, as an alumni or cadet, sometimes felt very sad marching towards mess hall knowing that the viand is free and the best tasting millfish that you can eat in your whole life. So sad, but it sounds funny, but it's true. We need to have that sense of gratitude for everything. Just imagine everything is free, and we should have that sense of gratitude. Reflecting on the difference that I found, I concluded that someone is sincerely dreaming for everything that we have since the day one of our maritime studies up to this very point as a product of the program. Probably, they are hoping and wishing that I have the same privilege as what the maritime scholars have. We, as a proud alumnus of the IMEC Cadet program, should be grateful for what the program have provided throughout and molded us to what we are at this very moment. We should exhibit a great appreciation that even some of the cadets needed to in order to finish their studies, but here you are, chosen to become an IMEC cadet. The task is simple back then. Study well and obey the regulations. Later on, you don't need to worry. I said it again, you don't need to worry. Because since the program has provided everything for you and for your future career. For the cadets currently on their studies, that is the midshipmen that we have today who are performing here, don't take this scholarship program for granted. Prove to us that you are worthy of the privilege that IMEC has given you. Remember that someone is dreaming or wishing of what you have at this point. And if their wish is granted, for sure they will perform well since with the best of their abilities in order to finish the course. For sure, they will be grateful. Why? Because they know how it feels that I need to provide everything from my own expense in order to complete my education and graduate someday. Clearly, you as an IMEC cadet has much lesser burden than those regular cadets who are not granted with the scholarship program, who are admiring your privilege that this program has given you. For the IMEC cadets, take this into your mind. Just imagine, how would your situation be if no one provides for your education? And lastly, let me take this opportunity to render my sincere gratitude to IMEC Cadet Program and my dear alma mater, MAAP. They were my firm foundation for what I am today. To the BSM Crew Service Center Philippines Incorporated, sir, my great appreciation for guiding and trusting me in my career as a marine engineer. For sure, no words can explain our gratitude to them. The best thing that we can do in return, as a proud product of the program, is to render our utmost loyalty to the shipping company that stood before us since cadetship up to this very day as a successful marine officer. As I end this dialogue, allow me to end with this statement. As each day adds to our past, for sure, our golden stripes, either in shoulder board or sleeves, will add as we reach the highest ranks in maritime profession. I hope and pray that we, as an IMEC alumnus, should not be overwhelmed with the number of stripes on our shoulders. Instead, it should be a kind reminder that the weight of the responsibility represented by each stripe is the very same weight that keeps us low and firms our feet on the ground, where every precious dreams and untold stories of our journey began. Be grateful, stay humble forever, and God bless. Congratulations to IMEC Philippines.
Up next, we would also like to call on another alumni from the IMEC program. So we'd like to call on 3rd Engineer Jezebel Diaz to please join us in front.
To our generous ship owners and sponsors, honored guests, remarkable mentors and colleagues in the maritime industry, talented cadets, to the members of growing IMEC family, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Tonight, I am blessed with an opportunity to speak on behalf of the scholars you have chosen to grant with generosity. In the next 10 minutes, I would like you to open your heart and mind as you allow me to inspire you with my story. My name is Jezebel M. Diaz, daughter of Mr. Perfecto and Tonalyn Diaz. My siblings are Christopher, Captain at Philippine Air Force, Sheila May, 4th Engineer at Cruise Ship, and Carl Wixus, the youngest, who have been a very good son while we three study at the academy. I have a loving and supportive family. Here goes my story. When we were younger, Father tirelessly tell us stories about how they wake up at 3 a.m. to feed the carabaos and will have to cross the mountains and rivers in order to go to school. Mama shares that she has to work while studying in order to finish education. Despite the poverty, they both excelled and even sponsored their relatives' education. Growing up, my parents struggled to provide for our daily needs, even they both have salaries as teachers. So during elementary, Mama will wake up at 4 a.m. every day to cook nilopak and I'll sell them at school. Papa will always send us to and from school, while Mama ensures that we eat right. They would always impart the value of education. Whenever we succeed, we see them proud and smile the sweetest. Whenever we fail, they remind us not to mind failure, but take it as a chance to improve. During high school, we live in our farm, while Papa manages the vegetables, crops, and fruit-bearing trees. Mama and I raise 103 pigs all by ourselves. We'll get home by almost midnight and wake up at 4 a.m. to feed the pigs. My siblings are in charge with the other chores. During market day, we would sell farm products at the market and save for our family expenses. Sometimes, we even knock at every door and deliver farm goods for sale. Living in a farm, chores are just part of our daily routine. But the endless chores didn't stop us from excelling at school and enjoying every activities. Instead, it has taught us the value of time, discipline, and responsibility. I love joining activities which led me to represent our school for different competitions. Prior to competition outside Palawan, I already accepted that I'll be living the rest of my life at Caborlan. But my realizations at Laguna changed that. So the better reward than winning was those reflective learnings. I started wondering about the world outside of our own. Receiving the National Discipline Award in high school anchored me to help make the world a little better place, even through simple acts. The Excellence, Leadership, and Athlete Awards affirm my potentials as a person. I can't recall how many books I've read, problems I've solved, minor injuries I've got, failures and shortcomings I've faced. But I can still imagine how fulfilled my parents look when they see us succeed. Daily trainings continued until I finally earned black belt and became Taekwondo instructor. That was my way of gaining my father's trust because he's a disciplinarian. I can't remember how many sermons and punishments I've got for my wrongdoings. But I clearly remember the lessons I learned. Papa shares that he would have studied in the academy if they have financial support during their time. Maybe that dream was meant for us to be fulfilled. That time, my brother studied at PMA. A year after, I followed his footsteps, but I was not accepted. They said I have scoliosis. So with a broken heart, I have undergone therapy and healed while studying BS Electrical Engineering. A year after, I was accepted as a member of my class of 2013. I would never forget how Papa and Mama would avail big loans to support our education, even the outcome is uncertain. And so, I treasured the opportunity given by MAAP, AMUSUP, and IMEC when they find me worthy to be a scholar. The unfamiliar journey with total strangers far away from home scared me. But what scared me most is letting go of the chance to make a positive difference. Semi-regimental way of life tested my limits, but I keep embracing and enduring every challenges because I know my love for my family is bigger than these adversities. Whenever I feel weak, I remind myself how amazing people have enlightened our minds and heart patiently, how they have trained and nurtured us even we failed repeatedly, how they have empowered us when we doubted our ability, and most importantly, how they have trusted us wholeheartedly, even through uncertainty. So who am I to complain when all I have seen was my family striving to do their best, one failure after another, right? How great have I served that I deserve to dwell in this self-pity. And so I have chosen to stay every single day. I realize I'm not alone. We all have our share of sacrifices. Thus, I would do productive activities to get through one day at a time. Most of the time, I am awarded with early leave, but I don't go home. I tutor my deficient classmates to have valuable reason to stay. If you know how hard it is to earn every peso, I'm sure you'll do the same. Over the years, I have received 2 letters from Mama and Papa. Mama wrote, "We love you, anak," and it's inserted in my shoes. Papa wrote, "The service you render to others is the amount you pay for the room you occupy in this world," and it's inserted in my package. Those words are my strength. Living my cadet life, we represented MAAP in various competitions. To name a few, we've got the Division B champion at the Asian Rugby Women's Championship at Guangzhou, China. And we won some games at Worldwide Sevens at Hong Kong. And also Rugby 15s at the Vientiane, Laos. When I was still slim, I was a member of the Philippine team. We've won in marathons, press conferences, and been grand champion for the 26th National Physics Olympics. We performed silent drill exhibitions, and many more. But despite of the busy schedule, I always aim to excel. It is also through MAAP that I have known plenty amazing people who share and serve selflessly, making me appreciate life even more. Sure, there are challenges, but the Academy equips us with knowledge, develop our skills, and improve our attitude to face them. On board the vessel, the safety of one is the safety of all. There were plenty moments of enlightenment. At times, we would suddenly stop in the middle of the ocean, and we have to troubleshoot for long hours. But it is through those incidents that I am in awe of supportive culture on board. One time, we passed by the vessel with a flooded engine room. We extended help while the helicopter is on standby above the vessel. The flooding stopped, There's fear in my heart, but there's also an affirmation. Affirmation that no matter how difficult the situation is, there will be solutions. There were many sleepless nights for several troubleshootings, while many demands keep on pressing the seafarers. But I have witnessed and I have participated on embracing the change while meeting the trade demands safely. So I thought to myself, I want to be like these amazing people. I want to be like them. So the lifelong learning continued. In 2013, after graduation, I passed the board exam for officer in charge of engine watchkeeping. Shortly after, I worked as officer on board Lauritzen Custom tanker vessels carrying liquefied petroleum gases. In 2015, I served as Maritime Academy Aviation the Pacific instructor while on vacation. In 2016, I passed the second engineer board exam. I am currently a third engineer at the same company, Lauritzen Custom, manned by OSM, who empowered women to pursue maritime career. I hope more companies would share the same vision and employ more lady seafarers. During vacations, besides training, I enjoy having family time and my time with the community. For 5 years, as a member of the Outstanding Students of the Philippines Region 3 Alumni Community of Heroes, we have facilitated several activities to give back to the community and help shape the new generation of youth and serve the nation. In November 29, I am scheduled to board Linda Custom. And if God's will, I would like to be a chief engineer someday. This is my tribute to all the people who have become part of our journey. Thank you for your unspoken sacrifices, for your invaluable efforts that help us reach this far. Thank you for making us realize our potentials, that we are capable of becoming Marine officers. We shared each other's light that liberated us from our fears. We became each other's instruments towards success. We are each other's reason to believe, to work for our dreams, and to grow on every challenges as we surpass them. I pray that God will bless your hearts as you touch more life positively. It's been a humbling privilege and an honor to serve with you all in sustaining human life through global transport. I look forward to many more years of service and working together for the good of the many. May we continuously keep our light burning as we progress together, for together we are stronger. Let me end this by reminding everyone that we are all connected. The roles we play, no matter how small, is never insignificant. It has indispensable impact on each other's life. I'm so happy to be a part of the growing maritime family. Once again, thank you very much and a pleasant evening.
No, it's not going to be like that, okay? 1 minute max. Listening to Mark, I got reminded of my day when I was in maritime school, and I thought I would be failing in my duty if I don't share this message, because that got me reminded back to when I was coming out to sea. May I kindly request all the current cadets of MAP to please stand up, because this is a message to you, which is inspired from what Mark and the young lady said just now.
Graduation, I'm the Don Bosco.
And Don Bosco, yes, all the Don Bosco boys and girls as well. Please stand up. While we've all heard rosy stories here, the shipping is going through a very, very hard time. And getting jobs at sea is going to become more and more difficult. Technology is evolving, we all have to stay abreast. But the simple message that I would like to leave with all of you is the word that Mark mentioned about loyalty. Please, it's not just a word, it's a way of life. I would like you to promise yourselves, not anybody else, that you're going to be loyal to the institution that's trained you, to IMEC, which has facilitated it, to the company that you join and work for, be loyal to them, be loyal to the country that you represent, and above all, be loyal to the industry that you work in. Be proud of your job, be proud of the shipping industry. Thank you very much. The bar is open again. Let's party.
I'm just going to make this very quick. I just want to ask our Philippines team to please stand up. They came to me 1 year ago, and they told me that this year would be our 10-year anniversary, and to be honest, we completely forgot. And we had to actually look back in our minutes to actually make sure it was 10 years. And they've made this job very easy for me leading up to today. They've done a lot of hard work. They told me not to panic, and I trusted them. Last night, when they told me that all the paperweights were still stuck in China, they told me not to panic, and I didn't, and it's come through. When I walked into this room at 5 o'clock this afternoon, and there was still a conference going on, they told me not to panic, and I need to trust them. So please give a round of applause.
That's it for the program, but like what I mentioned, you can stay up until 11. I believe we have the place until 11, so you can still catch up with friends and, of course, to party. And I believe the bar is now open, so feel free to drink up. It's a Friday night. Enjoy your stay here in the Philippines. And, of course, to our scholars, make sure you do good in school. And once again, I'm Marian Catherine Contadero with Rich. It has been my pleasure to be your host for this evening.
And I am Dan Tolentino, and thank you everyone for joining in our 10th year anniversary. Thank you.